Hey folks, this is Zach. Welcome back to the homestead. And today I'm going to be doing a review on what, in my opinion, is the best work truck out there, especially for the money. And this is my 2022 F250 7.3 liter gasoline. All right, folks, this is my 2022 F250 Super Duty. It has a 7.3 liter gasoline, and it is the 4x4 version. In my opinion, this is the best work truck you can get for your money. It's very multifaceted, what we need vehicles for nowadays. So for me and my family, we have one child so far, number 2 on the way. So I want to be able to have at least 2 full car seats and a booster in this vehicle. Because I got the crew cab, there's plenty of room in here. And I did not clean the work truck. I wanted to show y'all, I actually use this truck, and this is our actual family truck. So I wanted to show y'all what it actually looks like. So we got this particular model because the center console goes up, and a full adult or a kid can sit in between my wife and I here. So we can fit 3 people up front. And these seats, again, I'll show y'all more here in a bit, but they fold up and down very easily. And they've got the little bars on them for car seats. So you can fit 3 adults or 2 car seats and a booster back here. So it could be my wife, myself, and 4 children in here. And for me, that's really important because this truck has to fill many tasks. So that's one big thing. Second big task is just getting to and from work. We live out in the country, and so it takes between 45 minutes and an hour to get most anywhere. So it needs to be comfortable and at least moderately fuel efficient. As far as fuel efficiency, that'll be a big determining factor for some people. If I do 65 in eco mode with cruise control on and I'm just rolling, I've got as high as like 18.4, 18.5, and that's according to the little dash computer. I've got the 28-gallon fuel tank in here, and when I run it all the way to empty and fill it all the way up, again, the little trip computer says I have about a 500 mile range, plus or minus about 25 miles, and that equals to about like 17.1 miles per gallon. Realistically, if you just want to do some napkin type math, I would anticipate an average of about 15, I'd say about 16 miles per gallon. So like I said, one of the main reasons why I bought this truck, and there's several opinions on getting a gasoline or a diesel truck. All right, so one of the other really big shoes that this truck needs to fill is towing. And there's a very big debate on diesel versus gasoline. I understand that. As most people will say, if you tow 3-4 times a week, probably just get the diesel. But for me, on average, I'd say I tow once a week, once every 2 weeks. And so for me, the gasoline was a good option. This particular gasoline engine in particular, though, is kind of a unicorn. They actually call it the Godzilla. So this is Ford's newer 7.3 liter V8. I picked this for several reasons. One, it has 485 pound-feet of torque, which when you compare it to the 1,000 pound-feet of torque diesels nowadays, might not sound like a lot, but this thing from the factory, this is from Ford, without any modifications and still under warranty from Ford, could tow 16,700 pounds. That is far beyond what most people need to. I can have a 20-foot tandem axle trailer with a mini excavator on it and tow it, and it's like it's not even back there. And that load was about 14,000 pounds. I could tow my camper, which is only about 9,000 pounds, but you have lots of wind resistance, and it's like it's not back there. So the big part about this particular V8, this particular gasoline V8, is that it makes 400 pound-feet of torque at about 1,500 RPM. That's a lot of low-end torque. A really cool thing about this is this engine is almost 455 cubic inches, and it only makes 430 horsepower. Depending on your opinion on things, you can say, oh, well, that's not very much. No, that's good. This engine is going to last forever. They seriously detuned it, and the other name from Ford for this engine is the 7.3 Government. This is actually designed as a commercial engine, and this actually goes in a lot of their 450s and stuff now. So very, very heavy duty engine. It's a single cam push rod V8 with a forged crank, cast iron block, aluminum heads. Very simple design, very reliable, very powerful. And between the engine and the 10-speed transmission that comes in these, I've had absolutely zero issue towing. It is a joy to tow with. And when I'm not towing, I still get good fuel economy. Speaking on that, I have the 373 gears in the back with a non-locking differential in the back. You can get 430s on these. And again, if you tow every day and you're hell-bent on having a gasoline engine, maybe I would recommend getting the 373. So going further with towing, the brakes on this, granted, you're gonna have trailer brakes. The brakes on this are massive, and I've had zero fear of my brakes getting hot or not having enough braking power. So as far as taking off and going with torque, tons of torque, and then stopping, no issues whatsoever. Now, as far as the whole feel of the truck itself, there are some trucks, I'm thinking specifically, some half tons that can tow quite a bit. But once you get about 9,000 pounds behind you, the whole vehicle just feels squirrely. Like the steering, the suspension gets kind of mushy. This is a Super Duty, and they are not lying when they call it a Super Duty. My last truck was a brand new Tundra. That is a half-ton truck, but it's got, lots of horsepower, and it was rated to tow, I want to say like 10 or 11,000 pounds. That truck felt like a toy to this truck. As soon as I drove my first Super Duty, I was ruined, and I immediately sold my Tundra and bought this truck. The frame and the suspension, everything just feels stiff, but in a good way. It just feels strong. And when you're not towing and you're going to the grocery store and you're hitting the speed bumps and stuff, it's actually very comfortable. It's not like an old school work truck where, it's going to rack your whole body. In my opinion, this is by far the best truck out on the market if you actually do work with it and you're actually going to use all that power. There's puppies. Sorry. As far as off-roading, I do not off-road. That's, in my opinion, a kind of a wasteful hobby. And I don't have money. This truck is already expensive. I don't have money to be replacing all kinds of suspension parts and stuff. That being said, my work truck is also Super Duty, the one that my company provides. And I do a lot of oil and gas work. And if y'all know anything about that, you have to go down some really sketchy oil field roads. And so we are forced to off-road sometimes. It's not a recreational thing, but we need to get to the job site. With just all-terrain tires on my work truck, that's the diesel, by the way, so even heavier, we have never got stuck, and we actually pull all the time with these trucks. These are the factory highway tires, so not a whole lot of tread, and this is a gasoline version. And this is only the 4x4. It's not the 4x4, which basically just means it has electronic lock and rear differential. With this quote unquote basic setup, I just went to my father-in-law's property about 2 weeks ago, and I had to pull 3 trucks out with my truck. So if that tells you anything, again, this is not, this is not a Jeep. This is not meant for off-roading. But as far as getting on and off old country roads, dirt roads, getting across the field, getting your own tractor unstuck or something like that, and even driving in inclement weather, I feel extremely confident in this truck. So as far as features and everything are concerned, my main concern was the engine, the brakes, the suspension, more mechanical and work type things were my concern. But what's nice is if y'all know anything about the Ford lineup, this is the XL. This is their base model, okay? This is like the cheap guy's truck. This thing comes already from the factory with very good towing mirrors. And they pop in and out like you'd expect, but they've got the big main rearview mirror, as well as also the little fisheye. You don't have to replace or modify this truck anything on this truck to tow very comfortably. It comes with a factory brake controller, trailer brake controller, and that's a little gizmo right there. That just controls the brakes on your trailer. It works extremely well. It's from Ford. As far as the features on the inside, I won't get really in-depth on it. There's lots of videos that are going to talk about Android Auto and everything. But again, this is the base model. It has a quite large screen, and it has Apple Play and Android Auto. Okay, so we're in the truck now, and I just wanted to show y'all. This is a fairly big screen, and it already has the Android Auto, Apple Play, all that stuff. You plug your phone in, and it has all the features you could ever want, at least for me. The dash is nice. It has, these are analog gauges here, but then in the center you have this nice little digital display, and it has all kinds of vehicle information for you. This truck, which again, the Toyota Tundra is a toy. This one actually has a transmission temperature gauge on it for you, because when you tow, that's one of the main things you got to watch out for. It has a tire pressure monitor on it from the factory. So it lets you know everything you need to know right here on the dash. So it's not super duper feature rich, but it has everything that you need. From the factory on the XL, this is the base model again, you have a nice backup camera as well. And it's the whole screen. It's nice and clear. It has little backup lines for you. You can take those off, but it's a nice clear picture, and it's a big picture, which really helps hooking up to trailers and stuff. The climate control is climate control. It works well. Because it's gasoline, it heats up pretty quick in the winter. Where if you have a diesel, you know, you might be driving for 15 minutes before you start getting hot air. The lights and everything are nice. I did get the auxiliary switches for some exterior lights and stuff that I'll be putting on in the future. As far as storage and everything, the dash and everything, there's just tons of little pockets. The console, and part of the reason why I like this truck so much, I'm 6'3" and about 210 pounds, and I drive pretty close to the steering wheel, but there's a ton of room in here. And so when you're on long road trips or work trips, it is very, very comfortable to me. This is padded, and this is padded. There's just a lot of room, and everything is right where you need it. Good cup holders, lots of storage here, a little spot for your phone and everything. So just ergonomically, as far as actually using the truck on a daily basis, I find it very comfortable, and in my opinion, very feature rich. One little pet peeve, and again, I've got a chip on my shoulder about that Tundra. This truck from the factory with base model, you push the window down, it goes all the way down, and you pull it up, it goes all the way up. It seems like a little thing, and it is a little thing, and I don't know why the Tundra, which cost almost the exact same amount as this truck, wouldn't have that, and that is both on the driver and passenger window. Another pet peeve with my Tundra, it didn't come with a transmission cooler from the factory. This comes with an oil cooler, transmission cooler, everything you need to tow and work, because this is a work truck from the factory, base model. I highly recommend this truck. Let me know what y'all think down below. All right, folks, so in conclusion, I said it before, I say it again, in my opinion, and I am not a Ford fanboy, okay? I don't care if this was a Dodge and it was as good as it is, I would recommend it. And just for reference, my company and the company before used Super Duties as their work vehicles. We put tens of thousands of miles on each one per year, and in a fleet of about a dozen, guess how many mechanical issues we've had? None. So again, not a Ford fanboy, I'm a Fax fanboy, okay? This thing is reliable, it's comfortable, it's feature rich, and fairly economical. I paid just over 45 grand for this a couple years ago. So with any new truck, they're not cheap, all right? It sucks, but nowadays for performance per dollar and comfort per dollar, this is hands down my suggestion, and I love this thing. We're very lucky here on the homestead to have this. If you have any comments or questions, please put them down below. If you want to hate the blue oval and let me know below, that's fine. That's up to y'all. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for all the people that have already subscribed. We're up to almost 250, so awesome. And we'll have a lot more reviews coming out. We'll see you next time.